Hey there, future storyboard legends. Welcome back to Ink and Grow Rich, where we dive deep into the wild world of live-action storyboarding, one pencil stroke at a time. I'm Vinny DeLay, your resident scribbler, and today, we are tackling what may be the most complex, challenging, mind-bending project I've ever done, a budget blinds commercial. I'm not gonna lie to you, this was a tough one, kids, but by employing the lost ancient Chinese secret of not giving a fuck, I managed to come out the other side $950 richer. So while this episode should be titled Phoning It In with Vinny DeLay, it's still a great example of how even the simplest gigs can keep you sharp. Sometimes the easy jobs are where you can really flex your efficiency muscles and maybe even finish with enough time to binge watch episodes of Ink and Grow Rich. Stick around and I'll teach you how to nail a straightforward gig like this one without overcomplicating it. Because hey, sometimes less is more, but usually it's just less. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a pretty simple spot. It's called Budget Blinds. By the end of this commercial, Budget Blinds would like for you to understand that they have a simple 4-step consultation and that they have styles and services for every budget. The spot will begin with our woman stopping in front of her windows and understanding that life would be infinitely more fulfilling if she just had better blinds. So she reaches out for her iPad, she visits budgetblinds.com, which leads us to step 1, discovery, which is really just a nice way of saying they have their consultation, whether that be online or in person. Step 2 is design, where they explore their choices together. Step 3, measure, and finally, step 4 is the installation, after which our customer can die happy knowing that she's got this whole blind thing handled. Couldn't be simpler. And next up, we've got our location document with a few different angles of the hero house, along with this folder full of videos. These are simply a handful of videos taken while they're location scouting. It is a bit unusual to get location videos, but they'll definitely come in handy. So I guess we'll just go through these as needed while drawn. Next up, I will send this email with a few photos of the talent, so that'll be handy as well. And finally, I was sent this director's shot list. Now, important note here, the director only needs me to draw the frames that he called out with this little highlight that he's got on these. So if you look through it, more than half the shots here I'm not going to have to draw. I think it actually comes out to about seven or 9 shots. All right, so with that in mind, let's jump in to shot 1, Shiv in kitchen making coffee. I took the liberty of going online and finding this image of a coffee maker, which I'm going to drop into our boards. And then I'll grab one of these images from our location document for the background. All right, after stepping back and thinking about it for a minute, I realized I don't actually like this coffee maker, so I went and I found a different one, which I feel looks a bit more exotic. With this image as the basis, I'm going to delete the kitchen behind it and just sketch in the counter where I feel like it should go. The director asked for an over-the-shoulder shot, so I'll add her on camera left. After I've got my composition and blocking laid out, it's just a matter of tracing the existing photos. All right, moving on to our next required shot, Shiv stopping in front of main living area window, wide from behind, establishing. All right, being as I don't have that angle represented in the photos, we can go ahead and start going through some of these videos that were provided. And boom, this right here looks like the perfect angle. I love how the counter and table create leading lines right into the window. Rather than draw the woman from scratch, I'm gonna open up my woman standing stock sheet, which is simply a collection of women standing that I've drawn over the years. Select the pose that works for me and then copy and paste. Now, you'll notice that the woman is facing us, which is pretty much the exact opposite of what I wanted. So I'm gonna go back into my stock sheet and pick one which she's facing in the correct direction. After cleaning up the lines around her, I selected my perspective tool. Now, keep in mind, this was back when I was still using Painter. Corel Painter has since been discontinued and I've switched over to Photoshop. So if I was in Photoshop, I would be using the Lazy Mizumi plugin in order to get the same one-point perspective tool. If you're in a different program like Procreate, I'm sure they've got some variation of this. But either way, I line the vanishing point up with the leading legs of the table and the counter, and then start drawing. As you can see, I'm kind of doing a shit job over here because even though this is only frame 2, I've already pretty much checked out on this job. From this point forward, I'm largely just phoning it in. If you were to run into me on the street one day and ask me, hey Vin, what's the worst part of your job? This right here, this would be it. The fact that after 30 years in this business, I still have to draw commercials for a fucking company like Budget Blinds. I cannot imagine that there's a single human being on the planet Earth that won't immediately scramble for the fast forward button on the remote control the second this commercial begins. Even the people that genuinely need blinds. The bottom line is, can't all be space marines and superheroes. Sometimes you just gotta pay the bills. I mean, look, the truth is, when I was hired to draw storyboards for Marvel's Thunderbolts movie, it was fun as hell, but it paid $800 a day. This Budget Blinds commercial, as soul-sucking and mind-numbing as it may be, it pays $950 a day. So, you take the good with the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. There's frame 2. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. All right, we're gonna skip number 4, move over to 5. Shiv sits down at a kitchen counter with iPad, over the shoulder and reverse, and she hits schedule. Continuing with my commitment to completely phoning this one in, I've opened up my computer's and laptop's asset sheet and found a decent over the shoulder. I'll drop it into place and remove these legs because she's standing in the shot, so that totally wouldn't work. Next, I'll drop in one of these kitchen backgrounds and then flip her so that the screen direction matches our first shot. We don't want to cross the line here. I don't hate this job that much. Moving right along, we're going to skip number 6, we're going to go with 7. Shiv and consultant together in room looking at hero. Bare windows, wide and establishing from side and behind. All right, so let's copy this second shot because that is the exact angle I'm going to need, but I'm going to push in about 30% just so it doesn't feel redundant. Afterwards, I took the liberty of taking a photo of myself doing the fingers as director viewfinder that all stupid people do for some reason. Put that in place and then chose yet another woman from my stock sheet and dropped her in next to me. Now, in the script, the Budget Blinds worker that shows up is a female, so obviously I'm going to have to make some slight alterations as I trace myself. Shiv and consultant in kitchen at counter with design books. Wide 2-shot over the shoulder. All right, just to mix things up, I'm going to choose a different angle from the location document and drop that into place. Then I'm going to need to sketch our 2 lovely ladies into the foreground, and I must have been feeling pretty generous here because I actually went ahead and drew them from scratch. Moving right along, we're going to skip number 6, we're going to go with 7. Shiv and consultant together in room looking at hero. Bare windows, wide and establishing from side and behind. So there are two shots here. Having chosen yet another angle for my location document, I dropped that into place and began freehand sketching the hero woman sitting on the couch. Using my one-point perspective tool yet again, I'll start laying in the background. And then finally, I'm going to sketch out the budget blinds worker using a tape measure to, I don't know, measure the doorway or something. And check it out, I found this nifty photo on Getty Images of a woman doing exactly that same action. Now, the astute viewers amongst you may notice that this woman's got 3 arms. That's because in the original photo, I didn't feel like her arm was extending long enough, so I copied, pasted it, and then angled it the way I needed it. We call that photo bashing, kids. Try to keep up. Skip number 11, come down to 12. Exterior. Installation guy hops out of truck and grabs tools, followed to door to be greeted by Shiv. Okay, so I found this photo of a box truck on Google, dropped it into place, and then sketched the driver stepping out of the door. Behind him, I am sketching in just some random suburban homes, something simple. And then, of course, the hero woman in the doorway as if she were greeting him. All right, 13, installer at work on hero window treatments, wide. Once again, I went online and found an image I feel works for our purposes. If any of you are curious about where I find my references and would like me to do a short tutorial on that, please let me know. I'm never quite certain what part of these jobs you guys find valuable. As a general rule of thumb, I try to skip over tedious things like, me scanning Google, simply because I want to keep these videos down to a manageable size. But if you're curious, let me know. Our 14th and final shot, installer and Shiv. And for this final shot, I found a stock image of 3 people standing around a cell phone, and then I took a photo of myself pointing and dropped it in so this idiot on the right looks like he's actually contributing something. Then, I'm going to give him a baseball hat just so that we know he's the hired help. And let me tell you something, man, I used to hate drawing hats. I mean, I still hate drawing hats, but I hated it so much that I actually built up a collection of hats that I kept on a shelf in my old office. Anytime I needed to draw somebody in a hat, I'd pull one of the hats off the shelf, put it on my stupid head, and take a photo. I don't know whatever happened to that collection. I think I might have lost them in our last move. Alright, I know it may be hard to tell, but I dropped in the old background from frame 2, except I've now added these nifty new blinds. Then I deleted the old background, and with that, we bring this job to a close. I really shouldn't complain because it was an easy job and they did pay me $950. I mean, I guess in a way I should hope that all my jobs are this easy, but I don't know, man. After 30 years, I feel like I just want a little bit of a creative challenge now and then. I guess in a way, it just feels like you hired Picasso to paint your garage, you know? All right, I think that's just about going to be it for today's episode. Don't forget to follow the link in the descriptions below to download your free asset collection. As you can see from this video, keeping a robust asset collection can really cut down on unnecessary drawing time and shave hours off your deadline. If you have any questions about what we covered here today, or just want to tell me how much you hate me, drop on down to the comment section below and hit me up, Buttercup. And as always, if you found this video insightful or entertaining and would like to see more of them in the future, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Until next time, this is Vinny DeLay with Ink and Grow Rich.